For example, they bring to you a text. Okay, so you have to assess that text on two fronts. Number one, can we ascertain that this is from Allah? This is the bahth of sudur. This is the discussion of sudur. Is this really coming from Allah, or has someone in the middle fabricated it or come up with it from their pocket? That's the bahth of sudur. So there are two kinds of sudur. You have qat'iyyu sudur. You have some evidences, like for example, the whole Quran is qat'iyyu sudur, meaning that it is 100% established to be from Allah. There is no doubt about it. You don't. That's why you don't even have to. If I quote to you a verse of the Quran, you don't have to go and ask a scholar and say, "Is this verse authentic? Can I know what's the sanad of this verse?" No, the Quran is this. It's mutawatir, so there is no question of sanad there. It's 100%. Allah has protected it and preserved it in such a way that there can be no doubt of its being from Him, and He has protected it at every level. So from Allah to Jibreel to the Prophet to the Ummah, at every stage, the transmission of the Quran, the sudur of the Quran has been protected through channels that give us absolute qat'i certainty that this is from Allah. So, for example, when you're dealing with Quran, there is no bahth of sudur. The whole Quran is qat'i sudur. In the riwayat and in the narrations, not all narrations, not all ahadith are qat'i sudur. In fact, majority, close to 95, 98% of the narrations that we have are zanniyu sudur, because they're all akhbar ahad. They are single chain narrations, which the ulama say do not give a certainty that they are from Rasulullah. There's a 50% chance they're from Rasulullah, 40%, 60%. The percentage may vary depending on the kind of narrators that exist in the chain. But at the end of the day, if you're dealing with a single chain transmission, that means one person heard from a second person, who heard from a third, from a fourth, and the chain is just an individual chain. It is not being narrated by entire groups of people all together at the same time who are transmitting it to another group, and this way to the whole ummah. If that is not there, then this transmission is zanni. It is a highly doubtful kind of transmission, and you cannot base all claims about ghaib on the basis of news or information that has been transmitted through source. So I hope you understand this. This might seem complicated in the beginning, but these two terms, qat'iyyu dalala and zanniyu dalala, qat'iyyu sudur and zanniyu sudur. Remember, qat'iyyu sudur means 100% I know it is from Allah or from Rasulullah or Imam. Zanniyu sudur means 50% there is a chance Imam said it, there is an equal chance Imam didn't say it. If there are liars in the chain, then it goes to 90%, 95%, sometimes 100%. If it comes from Quran, again it becomes 100%. This cannot be from the Imam. So I'm trying to give you some sense of how we deal with evidence, because a lot of people, every iftira that has been made in this ummah, it has narrations to support it. So every claim that has been, just like the Christians, you see, the Christians, when they say that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, this is, they're not just coming up with this from their pocket. They have narrations to defend how evidences are classified into these, two categories. One is the kind of evidence for which all the scholars of the ummah will tell you this is qat'iyyu sudur. There is no doubt that this is from Allah. There can be no doubt. So that's one class of evidence. If you have this kind of evidence, and you're going to make claims about Allah on this kind of evidence for which we are 100% sure it's from Allah, you are safe. On the Day of Judgment, you cannot get into trouble. Why? Because if Allah questions you, where did you get this belief from? Or where did you get this claim from? You can say, Allah, I have evidence that the whole ummah, all the scholars, everyone is agreed that this is from you. There was never any doubt that this was from you. So this is qat'iyyud dalal. But let's say if you have zanniyyud dalal, okay, like the Christians. Christians, they don't have zero evidence for Trinity. They don't have zero evidence for Christ being the Son of God, their claim. No, they have evidence. But if you go and ask the top Christian scholars, as I told you in the previous lectures, go and ask Bart D. Ehrman, for example, whose books I shared with you, or whose titles I pointed out. Go and ask him, this Trinity that the Christians believe in, or this idea that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, is this really something that we can establish to be from among the teachings of Jesus Christ? He will tell you, absolutely not. Because he will tell you, I have done the research into the manuscripts, and I can show you early manuscripts of the Bible where this concept is not there. So what do you conclude from that? It's a no-brainer. It is a concept that has been added later on. Similarly, within the Islamic tradition, you will come across a lot of claims that people believe today to be central to the faith. But if you investigate those claims deeper, you will realize that some claims are only 2 centuries old. Some claims are, mashallah, only 500 years old. Before 500 years, you check the sources, there is no trace of this claim.